After leaving Rio Maggiore, we kept riding north along the coast. The next stop on the map was Manarola. The views from the road were incredible, but as soon as we got close to the village, reality hit. It was packed. Cars, buses, people everywhere. We realized pretty quickly that trying to park here would be a nightmare. So we made a decision on the fly. We skipped the chaos of Manarola and aimed for the next village, Corniglia. The road to Corniglia is pure therapy. The asphalt was mostly dry, but the weather was moody. As we climbed higher, the sun disappeared and the fog rolled in. Honestly, looking at the lush vegetation and riding through the mist, it didn't feel like Italy anymore. It felt like we were riding on some tropical island in Asia. It was a surreal atmosphere. While we ride, here's a bit of context. Cinque Terre literally means 5 lands. For centuries, these villages were completely isolated. You could only reach them by boat or by donkey paths. That's why the locals had to build these crazy terraces on the cliffs just to grow grapes and lemons. Today it's an UNESCO World Heritage Site, and riding a modern Vespa on these roads where people struggle just to walk in the past feels like a privilege. Now, if you read travel guides, they'll tell you Corniglia is the hardest village to reach. Train tourists usually skip it because they have to climb nearly 400 steps from the station to the town center. But on a Vespa, it's a completely different story. It feels like a cheat code. While everyone else was struggling on the stairs, the road took us straight to the village entrance. And the best part, we actually found parking this time. Was it a glamorous spot? Definitely not. We squeezed the bikes in right next to some dumpsters and the public toilet. But honestly, in Cinque Terre, finding a parking spot feels like winning the lottery, so we took it happily. We parked the bikes and started walking towards the center. Now, I said Corniglia is usually quieter, but let's be real, it's still Cinque Terre in high season. The narrow main street was actually buzzing with people. We took our time to explore the small shops and we even bought some nice souvenirs to remind us of this place. Despite the crowd, there's a charm here that you can't ignore. After the shopping session, we stopped to refuel. We found a spot to grab some lunch because honestly, the ride made us hungry. We sat there, enjoyed the pasta, and then took a walk to the edge of the village to admire the view. So if you're visiting Cinque Terre on a bike, don't believe the rumors. Corniglia isn't hard to reach, it's actually the most biker-friendly stop of them all. But the day wasn't over. We still had to ride towards Vernazza and finally check into our villa in Levanto. In the next episode we take on the road to Vernazza and I'll show you the place we stayed. It was easily the best accommodation of the entire trip. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.